Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Monday Motivation podcast, No More Excuses. Yes, this is your host, Sandi Ballard, with Growing Forward Success Coaching. If you don't know already, woohoo, I'm now on Instagram. Still a little reluctant, and somebody had a great word for it, begrudgingly got on Instagram because everyone keeps telling me that's where all the cool kids play. So if you're on Instagram, find me, Sandi with an I, Ballard, or Coach Sandi, again, with an I. Still on Twitter, SLBallard13, Facebook, Growing Forward Coaching, Success Coaching, I believe, and LinkedIn. Okay, find me. Website, www.growingforward.biz, B-I-Z. So, yes, are you just a dreamer? Does anyone else out there just immediately go into a song, have a song play in your head when certain words or phrases are said? No? Just me? No one else hears the song? Dreamer? I'm not going to sing it. Okay, well, then let's get to it. Last few weeks, I've talked about how you're doing with adjusting habits, creating new ones, reapplying old ones, maybe that were good, but you stopped doing. Like my client who is trying to get healthier and lose a little more weight so she can have a certain surgery that will tremendously help her life. It'll help her feel better so she can do more with her business. She just got out of the habit of having her certain shakes, and a lot of people do smoothies and shakes in the morning. And she's like, I don't know, I just got out of the habit. And she was doing so well on it. So, things like that. I don't know how else to say it except to remind you that, again, habits are dream and goal killers. Dreams and goal killers? Dreams and goals killer. However you want to say it. Habits will kill your dreams and goals. And dreams and wishes are just goals without a plan. How can you make it through life without goals and plans to achieve? Yes, I've been told I plan way too much, but I have a little glass etched kind of statue. It says, "Planning does not ruin spontaneity. It creates opportunity." So, how can you achieve things? So, let's say personally, you're going on vacation. You're wanting to see certain things or visit a certain area. Well, are you just hoping you're going to, or saying, oh, I want to see this or that? Well, if there's no plan to see or visit a certain tourist attraction or a certain place, then you may or may not make it. And, what if you come home, you've gone to this really kick-ass place, and you're talking to somebody about it, and they're like, hey, well, did you see this? Did you see the Eiffel Tower? I don't know. Why would you go to Paris and not see the Eiffel Tower? And then you're like, well, we made it here and there, but, well, we just spent too much time here. We didn't realize that place was closed on Mondays or that we needed reservations. And are you disappointed? And then you're sitting there hearing all the cool aspects of those things you hoped to see and didn't. And then what? You're like, well, screw it. So it's, again, planning can help you, and setting those goals will help you avoid disappointment. Relate that to business. Oh, and yes, I did have one vacation where my goal was to plan nothing. And yes, we laid our asses on the beach or at the pool and did nothing. Because you have to recharge sometimes. When life is just so crazy, sometimes you actually do need to do nothing. But, so relate that to business. If you've decided you're just a dreamer, like I asked in the last podcast, wishing someday something would happen, then how do you ever expect it to happen? Or do you expect it to happen, much like with the vacation, and then you're disappointed when it doesn't? If you've not read my first book, From There to Here, available on Amazon, that was my big mistake for years. In that book, I tell on myself about how I just talked a big game and then wondered what the hell when nothing actually came to fruition. I mean, my friends were even like, I thought you were going to do this or that. And I'm like, I know, right? But I realized I had no one else to blame but myself. I had no plan. And now, if things aren't happening, I review my plan, my environment, my support system, my actions, and yes, my habits. What am I doing, not doing? And I realized, years ago, it's never too late. It's never too late to turn those dreams into goals. Well, most of the time. In the book, I do have one goal I talk about, one big dream I talked about that it is a little too late. But age requirements, right? So, what is your big dream? And by when? I asked you to email me last week. Giving yourself a due date is a start. So if you're listening to this for the first time, go back to podcast the last week, number 69, and talk about or listen to that, and then think about what's your big dream and give it a due date, because a due date is a start. I was recently speaking with someone and asked them about their big dream or big goal by the end of the year. And he said, I'm working on starting a business, a second business. And I was like, how's it going? He said, it's actually going pretty well. But he had a plan. I mean, he is a current business owner. So he knew right off the bat he needed to create the plan. So things are progressing. And we talked about his plan and ways to overcome obstacles, not get discouraged, or as little as possible. And we talked about his habits, because if this is a second business, how important is it? And where your energy is, sometimes it takes away from somewhere else. So what is he doing to rub his belly and pat his head? How is he keeping his number one business going while starting number two? But he's turning his dream into a goal, or he turned his dream into a goal at the beginning of the year, and will soon, as long as he does stay focused, keeps his good habits going, he'll turn that into reality. His dream will turn into reality. Again, the plan has to be there. But are you using it? I mean, people write business plans. I'm all about the business plan. But are you looking at it? Are you actually using it, the roadmap? And so I like to break down the business plan so you actually have a working plan that is simple and right there for you. So, are you working the plan? Are you changing direction? If so, ask yourself why. Is it necessary? Is it because you just hit a roadblock and want the easy way out? Got a little bit of fear going on there. Or your habits. You can't lose weight like, someone I know has wanted to if said person is constantly having happy hour with cheese and crackers every day without being hungry most of the time. Unless you make modifications, if you count that into your daily plan. So again, you can't turn a dream of starting a new business into a reality if you don't have a plan and you don't work on it. Same goes for personal goals and dreams. Or, if your goal is an afterthought or someday, then it's still just a dream. So what's my point this week? Well, if you know me, one of my favorite new quotes is, get off your ass and do something your future self will thank you for. And yes, get your shit together. That may have been a Facebook post recently. Actually, on my personal Facebook post. No more excuses, right? It's what this podcast is. No more excuses. I've heard a lot of them, and I've given a lot of them. You're here listening for a reason. So let's get shit done, or at least get it started. We still have 5 months left in 2017. But why wait? Don't wait like I did years ago. I waited for things to happen, and they never freaking happened. So, don't you want to be excited every day? And don't you want to be passionate about what you do? And something I also like to say is, what keeps you up at night should get you out of bed in the morning in a good way. You should be excited and thankful and thinking about a client or prospective client or an upcoming event that you're having. that you can't sleep, or you go to sleep thinking about it, and then you wake up excited and ready to take on the day. It's time to live your legacy. And as people see that you're doing what you love, perhaps that excitement will help them in their personal and professional life. Whether it's a career or you work for yourself, it does not matter. If you love what you do, it's not work. Yeah, no, that saying's kind of crap. It's still work. People say, oh, you're your own boss. No, all my clients are my bosses. And it doesn't matter. So it's still work. It's still hard. But it's for you and what you want to do. Again, whether you work for someone else or it's your own business or personally, you got to do what you want to do. Yeah, if you work for someone else, there's certain goals brought down from the top. But how do they align with your goals? Okay? So let's make shit happen, because there's no time like the present. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry freaking Christmas, right? So let's make shit happen. Let's get things going. And, if you continue to wait on whether it's the perfect time, or you have enough money, or you have enough time, it's never going to happen. So just jump in. I know that scares the hell out of a lot of you. Oh well. If you don't know how to get going and to get started, or feel like you have the energy to keep going, contact me, sballard@growingforward.biz, B-I-Z. I have an upcoming workshop for those of you in Indiana, August 25th. Or, we can schedule a strategy session, a conversation over, Skype or FaceTime. We can do a phone call if you're out of state. Let's just get things going, okay? There's no time like the present to make shit happen. Have a great week, and no more excuses. Cheers.